Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. This is the My Reader Minutes. For all that are new here, welcome to all of my new subscribers. Thank you for joining me on my journey. Today I want to just talk about The Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 16, episode 2. And of course, we're going to get right into it. Okay. I'm not going to be here long. I might not recap it in the order that it actually was flowing in the show. So I'm just going to talk about the scenes that were fun scenes, or scenes I have opinions about. We'll leave it at that. So, of course, it picks up where it left off last week, and the ladies had gone upstairs in Shamia's house so they could hear themselves, right? Because where they were, where the party was happening, was too loud, and people couldn't hear what they were saying. So, the last question that they were supposed to be addressing was Kelly. She asked Portia, "Why did you take that lady's husband?" Right? So they all load on the elevator, they go upstairs and take in the department store. Her house upstairs. All these. Oh God, her house is gorgeous. Did I say her house was gorgeous? Her house is gorgeous. Anyway, they all sit down and get comfy, and somehow it all points to Drew. Now, I don't know if that was production. I don't know if that was Shamia, but Shamia goes right in at Drew, and she says, "I have to ask you a question. Are you dating Dennis?" And she said, "The reason why I'm asking that is because of the rumors in the street. Plus, people have seen you out all booed up at a club, holding hands and matching outfits." Drew said, "Not matching outfits." She said, "Yeah." And I think she shows her a picture of them or whatever. And Drew is like, "No, that's not the case. Me and Dennis have a professional relationship. Um, he evidently pitched this idea to her. She liked it. And her thing was, according to her, she's worked with a lot of different legends in the industry and her music has gone nowhere. So Dennis, Dennis pitch sound as good as anybody else's, so I guess she's going with him. She also says that Dennis is like a brother to her. Okay. Um, she was like, she would never do anything. She would never mess with him or whatever. And Portia's like, "Yeah, okay, and she's giving her the blues. She's like, "You're a low down, dirty, whatever, whatever," as if Drew has done something to her. And she goes in saying, she said, "Can I break the fourth wall?" And all this kind of stuff. And she's saying, that Drew has been doing some underhanded things. This is coming from Portia, right? The one that stole the lady's husband. Yeah. She said Drew was doing some underhanded things because she was going behind her back to sneak to film with her baby daddy. The nerve of her. The freaking nerve of her. How dare you film with my baby daddy? She didn't say she was going to go off and marry him, did she? She didn't say she was going to go off and screw him, did she? She didn't say she was going to go off and have a baby by your baby daddy. She just going to film with him because they do have some, business together. Why not film that? It makes sense, right? I don't know. Maybe because people are looking at Drew with the side eye because it's Dennis and Dennis is not known to be a music producer. I can see that. Maybe she knows Dennis better than we all know Dennis. And her thing is Dennis is up to no good. Maybe it's more so that. Who knows? Um, I don't know. But Portia's having a fit. She doesn't want Dennis filming with her. Then she turns around and says that Drew was going behind her back to try to film. I guess she wanted to promote her Go Naked hair. She was going to do a photo shoot and she was upset about that. And she was like, "Who are you to go behind my back and to film a photo shoot?" She says, "That's my business." Now that I can get on board with Portia on, because that is her business. And usually if you're going to do some branding of, of someone's company, you would think that the person that owns the company would want to approve it before it goes out. That is not up to you to put that vision out there. However, she thought she might brand Go Naked Hair. So I get 100% with that. But the whole dentist thing, I can't get on board with that, Portia, because filming with your baby daddy, what does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? You're married to someone else. She's married to somebody else. She can't. I mean, she's going through a divorce with Simon, the lady husband that she stole. That was her castmate a couple years back. The one she stole. She went in her house. Shout out to Rodney the Voice. Went and took her husband and her Hennessy. I love that. But Drew's the sneaky one. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Anyway, so Portia basically says she wanted to get things clear. She doesn't care anything about Dennis. It's not even about that. It's kind of looking like it is about that, Portia. So, she pleads her case, and her thing is that's not the case. They're just business partners. So after that, they go back downstairs. They commence to, continue with the party. Shamia basically says that this party was a long time coming. She couldn't have a party last year because, her baby was still in the NICU. So she said today, this particular day, she's going to make sure that she parties. And they did, like rock stars. Okay. And they all jumped in the pool. Somebody had a foam machine. Foam was everywhere. Almost kind of put me in the mind frame of what was it called? It used to be called raves, I think. I'm not really sure, but I've never been to any, but I remember them back in the day, and they always had like the phone parties and stuff like that. So sounds like a real, real good time. Anyway, so the next scene was Angela and Charles. And evidently Charles is the cook of the family because he had a spread on his kitchen counter, but he was, you know, cooking. He had cornbread, he had macaroni cheese. I don't even know what Angela was talking about because I was looking at the food. And it looked pretty good. Then he went outside on the grill and took burgers and stuff off the grill. He had like a lot of food, like they was getting ready to get down and like have a little cookout or something. Anyway, but Angela was in their kitchen. She was talking to her daughter, bringing her up to speed on what happened at the party. Who was talked about Drew. She talked about Portia. She talked about you know everything. And so, and you could tell like Charles is just not for that stuff. But while she was talking to her daughter, he was slamming doors and slamming down stuff or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, what is he doing? His thing was, he reminds me of a family member that I had. And he don't mean no harm. That's just his demeanor, right? It's all love or whatever. But he would tell you about yourself. And and it might come across harsh, but he don't mean nothing by it. It's just his way. And I look at Charles as being just like that because he seems like a no nonsense type kind of dude or whatever. And she had made a comment. Angela had made a comment saying that Drew was working with um, Portia's ex or something like that. And Charles looked at her and said, "Well, you worked with your ex, didn't you?" She was getting ready to say no. And she said, "Well," and he said, "Yeah." He gonna say, "There's always a well somewhere with some water in it." What, Charles? What does that even mean? When he said it, I bust out laughing. I'm like, what is he talking about? That was funny. That was really funny. So then the next scene was Portia and Kenya. They meet up to eat. Now, both of them pull up in their Rolls Royces. Okay. Ever since, I guess Shamia unveiled her Rolls Royce at her birthday party. I guess everybody got to let everybody know that, yeah, well, we got Rolls Royces too. Now, I know that we already saw when Simon gifted Portia with her Rolls Royce, but he also took it back. So she wasn't supposed to be in it because he had taken it back prior to her driving in it. Because I think I remember them taking a picture with those same outfits on way back when she was driving when she wasn't supposed to be driving the car. But anyway, I remember Kenya having a Rolls Royce too, but we haven't seen it. She doesn't drive it. She's either in the Bentley or she's in the I think she has a Tesla. I think she has a Tesla too. So they're pulling up, and they talk about Drew and Dennis. And Kenya talks about how, of course, last episode when we saw that she had went over Drew's house, how she had mentioned that she was working with Dennis on her music. And, she said she had even kind of second guessed, like, why of all people, would you get with Dennis with the music or whatever? And then, but then Kenya goes on and she says, well, tell me, how did you and Simon get to the place where you are now? And then Portia basically says, a lot of things started coming out about him that she didn't know about. He wasn't, upfront about, their finances. She basically said that when they would go, I want to say when they would fly places, when they were on their jets, that when they landed, they would be surrounded by police. And her thing was like, what is this about? And he came back and said, a long time ago, he had something, he was sitting in a car with his cousin or something, and he didn't know that the car was stolen or something like that. And ever since then, the police has been messing with him and all that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that sounded like a lie, but I feel like she wanted it to be true so bad, so she went along with it because she didn't want to find out what the real truth was. She was going to ride that horse, or not the horse, but she was going to ride that car until the wheels fell off of it. But until it started to look like he didn't have no money, or where he was getting his money, or how he was making his money, then she had to separate herself from him. But up until then, she was spending it, whatever that was they were spending, she was spending it like water. He had something because he bought the house. So whether it was scammer money or whatever, I don't know where he got his money from, but he bought the house. So, and then she made a comment saying that the last thing she said she had looked in, because I guess, I don't know, they had a pretty big house too. And I guess she looked at the camera footage, she said he was bringing women in the house. Now, I don't know if I believe that. I believe Portia's lying. And I believe that this time, I feel like she knows that she's said a lot of lies about Simon on this season. And maybe that's why Ice had to go make a trip and pick him up. I'm just saying, I don't know for sure. I wasn't there. I am speculating. This is my opinion, but I honestly believe that it's just worked out to be too perfect. You know what I mean? It's just working out to be entirely too perfect. And she can say whatever she wants. And Simon can't say nothing because he's locked up. He don't have no internet. He can't get on his Instagram. He can't do anything. Because before, he was going to tag. She knew what he was going to do. Because he basically said it. He basically forewarned her that was what he was going to do. So she had to have him picked up, and she did. Well, I don't know. I can't blame her for that because she's saying she had nothing to do with it. So as far as I'm concerned, I ain't see her do it. But I'm giving her the side eye. If she didn't do it, somebody in the family did. Maybe Diane did it. Maybe her sister did. Who knows? Just saying. So then the next scene is Kelly. She is expressed on the show that she wants to expand her waffle empire. So she meets her publicist, and I want to say, I guess it's her accountant, maybe her money man, at this place that she's looking into, converting into another Nana's Chicken and Waffles. And they go in, and the place needs a lot of work. I mean, they show all around the property. And her publicist comes in and says, we got a lot of work to do or whatever. And her goal date to open is like July. Now, I don't know when date this was, or if they were talking about July 2024, I don't know. But she said her opening date that she's shooting for was July 15th. Well, when her money man came in, he basically said they're nowhere near going to be ready. They're not going to be nowhere near ready to open around July 15th based on everything that needs to still need to happen. Like she needs to get a permit. She still need to pick out what, where she wants, where she wants where, how she's going to do the build out of the kitchen and all this kind of stuff. So she said, it's a lot of work. And she said, we're in jeopardy. He basically told her that she was in jeopardy. But her thing was, look, whatever you need, I'm going to do it. And her goal is they're going to open July 15th. So then it moves on to Britt. Britt is in the kitchen. She's talking to her husband. They're talking about selling their home. She wants him to get her forever home, right? Her dream home. And she's talking about having her mother move in. She's talking about having her mother sell her house. She needs to move in. And because, she really wants she wants to plan on having a baby, right? She want to do a lot of things. And he's just sitting there to kind of like, okay, okay. She said, now, do you want to have the baby here, or do you want to wait till we get into our new home? And his thing was like, why does it have to be, like planned out? She says, because I'm a planner. We know you just like to throw things up against the wall to see if it sticks. He said, yeah, I am. Kind of like he's like kind of like spur of the moment type thing, or just go as, take life as it comes. Her thing was, you can't throw a baby up against the wall and see if it sticks. So her mom comes in the picture, but she basically says, yes, we are going to have a baby. How you know, Mom? How you know? You don't know what's going on. Mom said we was going to have a baby. And mom's ready to probably sell her house and move in with them. So the next scene is Shamia. Okay. So the next scene is Shamia and Shadina. Now, Shadina is her surrogate. That's the lady that birthed her Shiloh, and she's also the lady that carried Blaze for Candy. So they tell us that at 35 weeks, when she was carrying Shiloh, that's when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. So Shiloh had to be born, had to be taken early. So she kind of thinks, or she feels guilty that happened because she feels responsible for some of the issues or medical issues that Shiloh's having. And then Shamia was like, well, I don't know. She said, I don't know, maybe because, with different hormones and everything, sometimes the hormones can contribute to having breast cancer. And, so she said it could have gone either way. And both of them had a sentimental moment, and both of them were like really tearing up and crying. But she said even though she wanted a healthy baby, she said she wanted Shadina to be healthy as well. Anyway, Shadina has a business of I guess enrolling and having surrogates on file. So she has a surrogate business. I don't know what you call that or whatever. But anyway, Shamia was there for her to hook her up with another surrogate because her husband is ready to grow their family. She also goes into detail about Shamia, that is, about how she did still get pregnant, I think after Shiloh, I want to say, but she had like a what they call it when the egg gets stuck in your tube, utopic pregnancy. I think that's it. I don't know. Anyway, her tube, I think, maybe ruptured. Anyway, they have to remove it, and that's very painful, whatever. So I guess I don't know if after they do they remove both tubes or they just remove the one. Anyway, she couldn't get pregnant. She has problems getting pregnant. She said she had gone through 7 rounds of IVF. And she said, that's really hard on your body. 4 shots in the morning, 4 shots at night for every day for however many weeks. She's like, that's a lot. She was like, that's a lot. So she's looking for a surrogate so they can expand their family. The next segment is Britt and Kelly. Britt comes over to Kelly's house. They bring their dogs together and they're sitting there talking. And Britt is talking about, now she wants to plan a wedding. She said, because they got together during COVID, her and her husband, and I guess they got married over Zoom or something. I don't know. But anyway, she never really got a big wedding and she wants to have a wedding. So she wants to plan this big wedding. She wants to have a big wedding. She wants to have a big house and she wants to have a baby. That's a lot, right? Okay. She's trying to make sure she's there for 3 years in a row. Anywho, so Kelly kind of threw some shade and was like, well, if you have a wedding, she said, you can guarantee that I won't be there 3 hours late. And I guess that was shade. That was a stray thrown at Portia. Kelly starts to talk about her husband and and how there was infidelity in the marriage and how I think she said he stole not stole. I think she said he took $500,000 out of her business account. And she had to go through, and go to the lawyers and draw papers and sue to try to get the money put back. I mean, talks about that. And then Britt goes back into talking about Kenya. She said, did you hear Kenya talking about where's my wedding band? She need to be worried about her divorce. She said, I'm thinking we're going upstairs to talk about, what they said the same thing I thought. She said when they were talking about still being at Shamia's party, and Britt was like, I'm thinking we're going to go back upstairs to talk about Portia. But Portia was deflecting, and she did that really well, and Shamia helped her do it. Shamia knew she had to do something to help her friend, and Shamia is the best friend anybody can have. Portia need to really, really. She don't appreciate her, but she needs to, because Shamia's changed that subject right for her, and it looks like that might be the running theme for Shamia this season. I'm hoping we get to see more Shamia, that she becomes her own woman and don't worry about Portia. Portia's a grown woman; she can stand on her own. Shamia, I need you to stop intervening and acting like you're going to help her deflect. She needs to be called on the carpet. That was the whole point of Portia not returning back to Real Housewives of Atlanta after she married that scammer. Okay? Allegedly. Okay? She didn't come back because she knew that they were going to eat her up, because the way that went down, everybody know that she was the low down, dirty, sneaky, whatever she called Drew. She wasn't nobody but seeing herself in Drew. Hello? Get out of here, Portia. So then the next scene is Drew, Shamia, and Angela. They meet at this gym to work out. Angela arrives first with Drew. And then for some reason, when Shamia comes in, they sit down there all talking. And I guess they still talking about the Portia. Still talking about the Drew Dennis thing. And she made it clear that that Dennis has been an angel to her. They bonded over music together because I guess she was just in a low place. She said he's been the biggest advocate for her and Ralph, I guess, to kind of try to work things out or at least come to a happy medium. She said Dennis has been a really good friend. That's how she's painting the picture. And then all of a sudden, Angela just she went and she was starting to attack Shamia. Like, why would you ask that question for Portia? And wouldn't let Shamia get a word in edgewise. Why you asked Drew, was she effing? And she said the word effing Drew. Right? Why would you ask Drew, was she effing Dennis? And Shamia said, I didn't say effing. I said, was she dating Dennis? Well, why would you ask that for Portia? She said, I didn't ask that for Portia. I asked it for me. And Angela was just going. She would not let Shamia get a word in edgewise. Shamia said, look, you coming in hot. and so Angela was like, look, I'm 6 feet. I'm 6 foot. I'm 6 feet tall. She said, I got a presence. Thinking to myself, okay, Angela, pipe down, pump your brakes. It ain't that serious. And because if anything, you seem to be going at Angela on behalf of Drew. Are you Drew's assistant? Just asking. Anyway, so they leave there. Portia, Dennis, and Pilar. They're having a co-parenting event with Pilar. And it looks, I don't know, they take her to the, I guess it's a bouncy thing. I don't know. She was playing with toys. I don't know what it is. A big indoor playground, it looks like to me. But Portia is sitting there. She's asking Dennis, she was like, what's the deal with you and Drew? She said, because Drew is saying something totally different than what you're saying. And here go Portia again, because she was lying. She was actually lying to Dennis, I guess, to get him all fouled up to see if she could catch, Drew in a lie so she could run back with it or whatever. And then I said, well, what is Drew telling you? She said, we just working together. And she said, well, first of all, she said you was her Jesus, your Christ, your her Lord, her Savior, everything. And she did not say it like that. Portia needs to stop. Portia needs to stop. But she was sitting there pleading with that man, talking about she don't want him filming with Drew. What is her problem? I don't understand that. Why does either one of them owe her anything? And then she talking about, I can't have nobody that's loyal to me. The word loyal shouldn't have ever came out of Portia's mouth. Ask Fallon. Now, not that they were besties, but that woman invited you into her home, and you left out with her husband and her Hennessy. Shout out to Ronnie. I love Ronnie. Oh my God, I love him to death, girl. He be having me laughing, but the truth is the truth. She's looking for loyalty from people, and that's how you do people. You don't even treat Shamia right. Shamia, I'm be like Kenya, hide your husbands, hide your wives. Woo! Kenya wanted to probably get at her so bad. They probably cut out a lot of stuff from Kenya because Kenya looked like she was on one. Hide your husband, hide your wife. And they didn't let, because Kenya looks like they might have, she probably had more of a role, but they didn't allow us to see a lot of Kenya. And I kind of miss her, even though I know she's a mean girl, because she is a mean girl. That's a mean girl. But I love her reads, though. I feel like, I'm missing that part of it. I'm not, because, I feel like even though Kenya was a mean girl, she was honest. I mean, that was her truth. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't making up stuff. She wasn't being fake. How she felt is how she felt. You know what I mean? Where Portia, she comes across as fake to me. She comes across as fake. She comes across as she thinks she's better. She comes across as a little snooty, even though she might be a fun girl. It's something about it. It's like Shamia, who's a fun girl, who don't have all these airs about her. Portia does. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Portia, I don't know, it's something about Portia. And plus the way she got Fallon's man don't make things that much better. And I don't care what shape Simon and Fallon may have been in, because they might have been on the outs and maybe Portia really didn't have to do nothing. But the fact of it is that woman invited you in her house. You hung out with her. You and Shamia. Next thing you know, they split. And a month later, you engaged to him. So whatever he's got up his sleeve, or however he frauded you, however he hocus pocused you, I don't feel sorry for her. I don't. Anyway, so at the end of the day, end of the reel, I guess production pulled her to the side, and Portia was back there crying because Dennis wasn't trying to listen to her or adhere to what she was asking him to do. And his thing was he wasn't going to stop working with Drew. He wasn't going to do that. So I guess she's on a hot mic. They're in the car, and she's laying him out and saying he better not come up on the screen with another housewife, because she finds it to be disrespectful. I'm sorry. I don't think that that's disrespectful at all. Not in this case. And he kind of told her. He was like, well, me and Drew kind of bonded. We bonded over that. She's going whatever she's going through with Ralph. He said, you had 16 weddings. He said, and I had to live through that. She said, "Oh, and is this a little get back?" And his thing is like, "No, it's not a get back, but I don't know. Maybe it is a get back. I don't know, or maybe they actually did bond over trauma. People do that." So, and Drew's not a bad looking girl. She's kind of pretty, and I think Portia knows that. So, what y'all think about this episode? I kind of liked it. I liked it. What I'm not going to sit here and do though, every time Portia does something crazy, I'm calling it out because I think Portia thinks she's going to play in our face because she knows she done told a lot of lies on Simon, and it's just only a matter of time that we're going to find out all the lies. Now he was bringing people in the house. I don't have him bringing nobody in the house while she was there, or period. So tell me what you think. What you think about this episode? I enjoyed it. Again, like I said, it should be very interesting. I can see the build up to Britt and Kenya because Britt's not feeling Kenya. But that's just Kenya's demeanor. I don't think Kenya's thinking about Britt at all, actually. I mean, that's just how Kenya treats everybody. And then by her being a newbie, you know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna get the same respect as the OGs or the people that have come up in the ranks along with Kenya. So, they got to pay their dues, but we'll see what happens. I'm kind of thinking that Britt might do something to warrant what Kenya did to her. Because, Kenya just goes overboard with things sometimes. Even though, remember, Tanya thought she was being shady about saying, "Oh, look at Kenya, she wears wigs." And then Kenya went to the left with it. You know what I'm saying? She called herself getting her back, but then she went to the left. But see, that's what I'm saying. Kenya doesn't know how to, like, you can give your shade back, but come on, you go a little tad bit too far. Anyway, I kind of miss Kenya though, and I'm always calling her a mean girl, but I do miss her. I didn't like her position these last 2 episodes. Well, this last episode, I didn't even see her, I don't think. Did we? Oh, yes, we did, just with Portia. But she's real, she's like, I don't know. She's not, I guess she's just a friend of the show, so she don't really have she didn't really have a Peach, so she's not one of the main characters. I don't like her in that role. I don't. So, anyway, that's all I gotta say. Drop down in the comments. Let's chat about it. Please like the video. Liking the video is a free way to support the channel. And with that being said, everyone be blessed. Peace.